Hello there, my fellow ladies out there. This is for the ladies. Men can use it too, but I was reading different things on social media and thinking about how vulnerable women of all ages are in at least the society I live in, but I believe in all societies, how vulnerable we are because we can look like prey to predators. And so, how do we not look like prey? By looking around and being mindful of your surroundings, but realizing that you in itself, by being alone, are already going to be a target for somebody who may be a predator. That's all there is to it. So you never want to look like you're really alone. And one way not to look like you're alone is to look like you're meeting somebody or waiting for somebody. So a scenario could be like you're in a store parking lot, whatever, and you're talking, oh, are you going to come by, such and such, to pick this up because I'm going to buy this and just swing by and pick it up. I'm over here at the lot or whatever, just have, especially if you feel uneasy, of somebody that might be watching you. I mean, I'm not saying do this every time, but for sure, do it if you are traveling alone. Don't ever go into check into a motel or a hotel situation and make it so obvious you're a single female traveling alone. You want to make sure that it looks like somebody is coming to join you, you're meeting somebody's nearby, and if that means like paying extra for an extra person, saying it's, me and my husband, or, and if, let's say, like, it wouldn't make sense, you and your husband, or it could be your boyfriend, or it could be, a brother that's coming or something, you just want to not appear like you're alone in certain situations, because that's when people have an opportunity to do really bad things, honestly. And people are looking, there are people, it's not like we're surrounded by all these evil people, but that evilness has a way to look for its target, and you don't want to be the target. So I was thinking of that because I was looking at my Facebook, and somebody had wrote some scenario of what would they do, and it was just kind of like, first of all, I'm not going to answer the door in a motel hotel room to somebody I don't know. I'm going to be talking on the other side like there's somebody in the room, like, hey, somebody's at the door, honey. Oh, you're still in the shower. You can't hear me. You're in the shower, and I talk real loud. And so my voice would be projecting out there as if I'm talking to somebody who's in the shower or something, well, we're not expecting anyone. I'm not answering the door. I don't want you to answer the door. Hey, what do you want? Is there something you need? Is there a problem? Talk through the door. But I would be calling downstairs and saying, hey, somebody's outside at my door, letting the staff be aware. But I also don't necessarily trust the staff of hotels and motels either. Just because somebody is working in a position of whatever position they are, it doesn't mean that it is somebody that you can trust. I see a uniformed police officer. Number one, they could be a nut job. A nut job. That's all there is. There have been cases of women pulled over, sadly, in remote areas. Would you pull over for anybody else in a remote area? No. You have a flashing light coming behind you kind of thing, pulling you over, and you're in a remote area? No. Put on your flashers, keep driving, call 911, and say you have somebody with flashers behind you trying to pull you over. Can you find out who it is? This is where I'm located. I'm not pulling over in a remote area. Don't feel safe. They shouldn't feel safe either, and don't speed up and evade or whatever, but keep a steady speed, put your flashers on. Don't pull over. Bad things have happened. It has. People who are in trusted positions can do bad things, and also people can imitate people in trusted positions and have uniforms and put flashers on their cars. So it's just like in everything, just think about, is this safe? Do I really know who this is? Would I pull over for anybody in an isolated area? Would I answer a door for anybody, without finding out who it is and safely open I don't know. At least where I live, there's like a lot of security. If you've watched my other videos, I live in Fort Knox, but yeah, so that is my safety suggestion. You just don't want to look like your prey. You don't want to look like that weak animal at the watering hole, and then the lion or somebody comes gets it. But yeah, so be smart. Be wise. Watch your surroundings, and don't assume because you're in your home driveway that you're safe necessarily. People get targeted right where they feel they're safe, right by their house. And it's not to be paranoid, but have a heightened sense of awareness that criminals do travel and they look for easy targets. That's my message for today for Happy November. But yeah, no, the thought was it just had my thoughts going when I saw what somebody wrote on social media, and it was like, and I'm seeing the comments, and it's like, oh, I would open the door and I'd ask them this. This is like, oh my God, no, 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 no. Do not trust situations that just don't seem right. And, if you ever have that, like, I don't trust this, don't feel you got to be nice. The biggest downfall for women is we are taught to be, some of us, polite and nice. You don't have to be nice. Somebody's coming towards you and you're not feeling comfortable and they're coming towards you. You just give them a look. And they keep coming. You need to stop and back off. You're getting too close to me. And then they still come. Then you know what you're dealing with. That's one thing I really liked about the pandemic is the distancing, that it kept people at a distance and you didn't have to kind of watch as much, and you knew if somebody was coming even closer that this person's like, what's up with this? I liked that. I liked that spacing. I really did. I don't like people really close to me in public places. And unfortunately, unfortunately and fortunately, I live in a very diverse community. And some of the members of where I live, their culture is to get really close. And it's like, back off, and I know it's a cultural thing. It's not to be rude or whatever, but it's like, will you please get away from me, So yeah, F social graces. Just stay away from me. Some people don't want somebody hovering over them, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you all have a good day and peace.